So, what's up, people? It's Fabulous Friday. Yours truly, King Jacob, with, all the way from Cali, Miss Ashley Marie. We're going to chop it up about this topic. So, I was just thinking, and
There's your mom.
one of my people that was supposed to be on,
I love it too.
one of my people that was supposed to be on, she had to work late. So I said, I still need to do a podcast. So let me back up a topic. So I said, I want to do community barriers. What are our youth listening to, and can
Asha.
the community do damage control, or is the music too damaging and we have no control over it nowadays? So I think that's a very good question because I had kids 7 and 8 singing Kevin Gates. I had kids 7 and 8 singing Pooh Shiesty. I had kids, 10 and 11 years old, singing Plies, Kevin Gates and, singing Little Dirk and, reciting everything King Von said, R.I.P., reciting everything Mo 3 said, R.I.P., I hear them, you know, singing Nipsey, you know what I mean? The last time that I checked, you know what I mean? So, like, what you know about Nipsey Hussle when you 7, 8 years old? Now, what you know about the lifestyle Nipsey lived when you 13 and 14 years old? Like,
I mean, that was
so
kind
I
of like
just,
my,
I'm
she
just,
was that age. She's 13 now, but she used to listen to like, some Teddy Pendergrass, she used to be able to sing the whole song for you. And I'm like, girl, like, how old are you again? But she just liked that type of
yeah,
music. But, you
Well,
know,
I mean, Teddy said you gotta let it go, so I don't know if she's 13 talking about I gotta let it go. You know
no,
what I
she was
mean?
younger than this,
So,
though.
would
She was
yeah,
way younger than this. She's
okay.
13 now. But yeah, she was way younger then.
Hmm.
But she likes all different kind of music. But I think that
Right,
also
right.
ties to, because she used to DJ. So, she listens to a little bit of everything. But even
Okay.
some music that I hear her listen to now, and I'm just like, who is that? I don't know who that is. And then, the type of things that they be saying, and I be like, this is the music they got
Hmm.
nowadays. I never heard
So,
of this person before.
so so with the type of music that they're dropping nowadays, just like a couple years ago, I heard a lot of kids listening to like Logic and XX Tentacion, and they was putting out music about depression, and a lot of kids was going through anxiety and depression, and those guys got really, really popular. But now, you know, um, they they talking about they'll pop somebody, they'll drop you, you know, um, everybody want to be the bad bitch, So, like, what, like, who, who told these young girls that they have the audacity to call themselves bad bitches? Like, what? Like, you're what? Woo, what? Why do you want to be a bad bitch? Why you don't want to be a certified intellectual young lady that's about her paper? A
Yeah.
politically correct term. Why you want to be the baddest? So not understanding. So let me know where this comes in. At. I'm a little older, so and when I was growing up, chicks didn't call themselves bad bitches. You know what I mean?
What was the
What
last
is
part you said?
happening? When I was growing up, chicks didn't call themselves bad bitches. They just wanted to
Right.
make it, get a college degree. Like so now everybody want to be the baddest bitch.
I think
Did
it's
Trina
because
reiterate with Lil Kim?
it's like a trend. This is what they do. They do things like this, and it's a trend, and then all people want to be like that. And it's like, even like, my daughter, and she was listening to certain I want to be just like that. I'm like, no, you don't want to be just like that. You want to be yourself, and you want to, do not what they doing, but you want to hold yourself accountable for the things that you do. A lot of the things that they see is they think that that's okay. And like how you talk about, like, being
Mhm.
bad bitches and different things like that. You know, they also talk about all the different surgeries and stuff that they have too. So, these are things
Right.
that they're seeing, and these are things that they think that they want to do, but then you start seeing the videos of the people that have done those things, and like, this is the worst decision ever.
Hmm. Okay. So let's talk about now. Want to congratulate you on your nonprofit. And so, with that being said, let's enlighten the public what your nonprofit is about and what you guys stand for, and then we're gonna get back into how the community registers with what music is being put out today, and how it's a constant fight with community leaders when the youth is listening to this type of music. So let's talk about your nonprofit.
Okay. So my nonprofit is called World of Powerful Youth Organization. We are hitting our 8th year. It will be 8 years next month. Before that, I was doing youth events for the last 11 to 12 years. So we have 3 programs. So our first program is education awareness, and within that program, we have a peer mentoring program. We have a peer mentoring program, a we we have a peer mentoring program. We have our Whoopi Kidpreneur Academy. So we actually teach youth how to start their own businesses. We also have a TED Ed edition, which is, as TED Talk. So basically giving them that voice, being able to have a voice and talk about the different things that are going on in their community. We also have our health, sports, and food literacy program. Within that program, we have our junior master gardener program, and we teach our youth how to grow their own food, and then they're able to also be able to get their junior master gardener certificates. And then we also have our art to build self-esteem program, and then within that program we do have something in regards to music. We do have something in tune with music, and that is songwriting and beat making for mental health. So we have a little bit of everything. Our annual
Hold
youth
up
event is
now.
every year in July. Yeah, go ahead.
Now this is interesting to me. You have the educational program. You have the youth entrepreneur program where you teach them how to build their own business. You have the Eat Better, Live Better program where you're teaching the youth about the nutrients they put in their body, about the gardening and things of that nature. But you have the music program, and so you teach your youth how to songwrite and become producers. Correct?
Yeah, well, I teach the songwriting aspect part, and then I have other people that are part of my team that helps with the beat making and everything. But it all ties into each other. It all ties into each other, so that way, and especially like with everything going on, what they listen to and how they see things, and all the songs that you were talking about. We basically want to help them, especially right now with their mental health. So it's basically just getting them to use that voice and being able to use it in a different way so people can understand them even more. What you want to
Okay,
watch?
okay, okay. So you know, um, if you was if a person came to you, if a person came to you and um, they said, Ashley, I'm having so much trouble in my community. It's a lot of crime, and the youth really have nowhere to go, and they ask you, can you give me a blueprint on how to rebrand and restructure the community? How would you handle that?
How would I handle rebooting? That's a good
Rebranding and
question.
restructuring the community. If they ask you for a blueprint, this is something that they really wanted to do, and they said, "Well, I need a blueprint on how to rebrand and restructure the community." Because they might say, "When I grew up, you had a lot of community leaders, and now it's not so much. So I want to take on the task to rebrand, to restructure, to focus on education, financial literacy, and to focus on in, empowering, you know, the communities as far as teaching them about, real estate, credit repair, business funding, you know, teaching the young men about home improvement, auto mechanics, letting them see that, they can do an apprenticeship to become electrician and get into the union, and let them see how they can make great money at a young age. So, what are some steps that you would take, and would you design a blueprint for someone who asks you that because they want to rebrand and restructure the community? It's something that they can take to the mayor's office, to their city councilman, to their county councilman. It's something they can take to the superintendent of the school board.
Um, I mean, that's stuff that, I kind of do on a everyday basis. I'm always trying to be out there networking, different things like that. But I would say the first thing that I would recommend is, of course, I can be their mentor and I can show them the things that I have to do. That can, follow me, that can go with me and see what I do. But also put a plan together of how they want to do these type of things. What do they want to focus on? So that way we can kind of dial into what they're really interested in, and then just make those necessary steps of what they need to do to be able to get there. One of the things that we do within our program is we do connect with other businesses, and we basically hold like a internship. So basically the businesses pay for a membership through our organization, and then the kids are able to intern with these different businesses pertaining to what they actually want to do. So if it's something that I don't know, I can, you know introduce them to, the business that they want to be able to get into, so that way that they're able to learn from that particular business and be able to have and build that mindset of what they need to actually do. So, I'm all about our community working and stuff together, and to be able to build a tribe, to build that village, we have to go out and see who's in our community and work together to be able to build our future leaders up.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. And so, with that being said, um, now we that structure is something that has to be followed out daily, though. So, with that being said, how do you register with the music nowadays? Because you are an incredible singer. We know that. So, a great
Thank
songwriter.
you.
I love the track that you sent me. Yeah, the tracks
Thank
are
you.
hits. So, you need to definitely push that out forward. And so, when because you deal with the youth, so you kind of know what they listen to, and I'm pretty sure that you done heard some of the music they listen to. You be like, wow. So what would you say? Would you say the youth um are pausing by the music they listen to nowadays, or would you say it's just that era, it's just that generation?
um I think it can be a little bit of both, to be honest. Um, I mean, the type of music that I grew up with is definitely different from the music that is here today. And obviously, you know a little bit more of my music. I'm more of, a soul, a little bit of reggae type of, you know, funkadelic type of music, and a lot of kids don't really listen to that type of stuff. But the
Yeah,
type of music that
they
I
don't dig that. They don't dig they don't dig that at all. Nah.
have, and then of course, I listen and do a lot of music, from my Nigerian side. I love, our music too. But um,
So back up. Let's. So since you want to share that, about the culture of your Nigerian side, let's kind of talk about that culture on the educational side and the music side. So, what would you say is the most intriguing thing about how education is taught over there?
I mean, of course, it's way different over there than it is over here. And I mean, that's part of the reason why I homeschool, because I want to be able to, if I want to, I want to be able to teach my kids from abroad, from all over the place. I want them to be able to, see the different places and actually learn about the culture and different things while being in those specific, places and stuff like that. But compared to here, compared to there, is way different. I mean, if I could go back, I would go back. But of course, there is things that are here in the United States that, you know, there are some things that, we don't have out there. And I mean, that's why you kind of see a lot of us coming to the United States and, building and stuff out here, but also having and still building back home too at the same time, you know.
Okay. So, from the music standpoint of view, because I have a lot of artists from Nigeria, from Zimbabwe, from man, Sudan, um, from Ghana. Like I have a lot of artists on my Instagram that always hit me up. You know what I mean? And some are pretty dope, I must say. And you know, uh, so how do you intertwine the two? How do you intertwine your Nigerian cultural music, with the R&B music that you sing in the States? Like, how do you intertwine the two? And when intertwining the two, what's the most difficult part?
I I don't think that it's difficult, and I mean, you pretty much see a lot of it even today with a lot of the artists that are, you know, from Africa and different places like that. They intertwine them. I mean, perfectly. I mean, you heard my newest track, and I mean, I added a little bit of reggae in the beginning, and then just went straight into, you know, the American side. So I mean, it's easy to kind of, have the flow of intertwining, different
Mhm.
music and stuff like that together. I mean, you see a lot of people who do music and they intertwine music and stuff like that all the time. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's
Mhm.
hard because it has been done, but I feel like when you intertwine those, different kind of music and different genre, it kind of gives you a different
Mhm.
feel, a different energy with your music. They're able to,
Okay.
you know so they're able to, kind of
All right.
see the different sides of who you are as an artist.
Okay then. So with that being said, you know, um, I say you so Ashley sent me this track today, and I seen her reggae side, and I'm like, do she turn that accent on and off? I mean, like, how does that work for you? I'm like, so I know I just spoke to her recently, and I didn't hear her accent, but I heard the music, and it's all over the place. I felt like we was in Cali, and then we was in Jamaica. On the set of Shadows. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's going on?
It's just,
What's going on, man? Like, so.
the feeling, the vibe, just everything. You gotta kind of, intertwine it. And I mean, even with like my beat, the beat is different. It's not, you wouldn't have probably thought it would be. You can add something as
Who
far as
made
like
that beat?
or anything in there, but it does
Who
have
made
the
it?
it. Huh? You
Who
said
made
who
that
made?
beat?
My cousin, his name is No
Yeah, who
Tag.
made it?
My cousin No Tag.
No tag.
Yeah,
No tag.
No
It's a hell
Tag.
of a
Because he don't
producer
need to
name.
have a, he don't need to have a
No.
name. So he's No Tag.
Okay then. So is he there in Cali with you, or he's still back home?
Nah, he's out here. He's in Cali. And he actually just had a baby. So shout out to my cousin
Oh,
No Tag. He just had another son, and it was the same birthday as his older brother, on 1/6. So congratulations.
okay, okay. Congrats on that, man, for bringing that new king into the world. Salute to
Right.
that, for real, for
Two
real.
kings.
Cause we need our kings out here. Lord have mercy, we
Yeah,
need
we
them.
do.
You know what I mean? And so speaking of the kings and the queens, and you know, I hear a lot of I hear a lot of women say this right here. Well, I don't need no man. I can do it all by myself. You can do what by yourself? What exactly can you do by yourself? Like, are we saying, that you can create foundation by yourself? Yeah, you can buy your own house, buy your own car, buy your, you know, get your own credit together, get business credit together, but it's certain things that you can't do by yourself, boo boo. I'm sorry to tell you. It's God created man for a reason. Like he created woman for a reason. So with that being said, how do you feel about those conversations when you hear women say that they just like I can't stand his ass. I don't need no man for nothing. I'm done. Like you done with whom?
I mean,
You
everybody and
done?
every
Are
woman
you
and
done? Are
every,
you done? Are you? I'm
huh?
just saying though, Ash. Are you done with the characteristics? I just feel like they should be done with the characteristics that they chose. Like, did you pay attention to the characteristics? Like, did you see any red flags? And just vice versa for him. Did you see any red flags with her? And you was like, you know what? I'm not gonna judge because that's probably already happened in their life. But these red flags just keep popping up. They pop up more than damn grass. They just popping up. So are you supposed to just ignore red flags and because I hear people all the time say, well, I don't want to be judgmental. They put it out there for you to see. So how are you being judgmental when it's right there slapping you dead in your face, just slapping you in your face, like how are you being judgmental? I'm not understanding. So what's your take on that? What's the take on that, and then how does that affect the community when we're trying to grow it back to its true
Don't.
essence?
Wait a second, son. I mean, everybody is different. I think everybody has, different experiences and stuff like that. For me, I would say for myself, I mean, I'm single, but I'm single for myself. I'm single because I want to be able to focus on myself, have self care for myself, take care of me to be able to be in a relationship to where we are able to grow together. So it has nothing to do with like, oh, I don't need a man or I don't need any of that. I want to be able to, when I'm in a relationship, I want to have my part too, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And I just think a lot of times people listen to what they see on TV, what they see on social
Uh huh.
media.
Yeah, that too.
Do people even eh, do people even really know who they are in depth? What is do people really understand that I need to identify with myself? You know what I mean? And so I think a lot of people don't really understand who they are and don't really have a true identity of their own. They're too busy on what American society say they are supposed to be.
And I think
Does
that
that make
all
sense to
ties in
you?
like what I said too, that they gotta have, self love for themselves. They gotta know who they are and love themselves to be able to, be in a, a relationship, because if you don't love you, how do you expect other people to love you?
So how do you have that self love when you never had a nurturing mother, or you never had a father? Because a female, her first love is her daddy. So, you know, for a male, like, I understand people say that women go through a lot with their moms that's not there, but but a man with mommy issues is a whole type of different level. I've seen it, and I thank God for having both of my parents. They was together 40 years for my pops passed. So, but I thank God for having both of them, because there's a lot of people that never have had that. So, with that being said, um, that dilemma of not having a mother's love, how does that really affect somebody throughout their lifetime? What do you think? Is it psychological and mentally, or is it more emotional, or is it a damaging situation of the two together?
I think it could be a mixture of all of them together, because I mean, with myself, I necessarily didn't have my biological father. Um, really, in my life, he left me when I was 2, but I was gracious enough to have a stepfather that's, you know, came in and took that spot, and he was my father. So I was able to have someone to look up to, as far as like who I would want in a man. Um, but I mean, of course, like with me, growing up, it definitely does mess with your mental. It definitely does mess with you physically, because when you're a kid and you're thinking about things like that, you think like, okay, well, what's wrong with me, and why don't you want to be here for me? Um, and I mean, I thought those things, but then I had to think, and it's like, well, it's not me, so I don't know, what's going on. Maybe they got something else going on, but I mean, I forgave him before he passed away. He passed away July of last year. Before, I forgave him way before then, but he passed away last year. And you know, I think for me, it was the hardest part for me was not being able to have the type of relationship that I really wish that we was able to have, you know, growing up. And once I had my children, I told myself, I said, no matter how my relationship was with my father, if my children want to have a relationship with him, I'm gonna let him have a relationship with him. I didn't want to take
Okay.
that away from my children.
All right. So, with that being said, you have grown from that. So there was a lot of hurt there when you was growing up. So how was that healing process for you when you finally let go and you said, well, you know what, I'm gonna just forgive him and try to get to know him, because there's a lot of people in the world who don't even have a father, who never lay eyes on their father.
Yeah. Um, the healing process for me, after forgiving, and it felt good. A lot of weight lifted off of your shoulder, because it's holding resentment and holding a grudge is it's not going to do anything. It's just going to keep pulling you lower and lower to the ground, because you constantly, that's just something that you just don't want to get rid of. But as long as you are able to take that chance and be able to try to work, I think it makes a difference.
Okay, okay, okay. That's what's up, though. That's what's up. So, and I definitely I appreciate you coming on tonight. I know you just got off work, but wanted to chop it up with you real quick on this segment. And I know you got them babies, and you got to tend to them as well. So I just want to
Yeah,
say
y'all
thank you for coming
Geminis,
on.
okay?
And
He don't want to leave me alone. You see, he
yeah,
just
yeah,
all on me.
yeah. Leave us Gemini's alone. I mean,
I
we
know.
special.
I just
We
had
alright.
to say it because I already
We
know
alright.
you're a Gemini. But yeah, I love
Right,
him. He's
right.
like
We
that's
alright.
my little
We alright.
sour
We
patch.
alright.
But
Yeah.
he good.
Right, 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 right. So, but I want you to remain focused. Have a wonderful weekend, and and we'll definitely be chopping it up. And shout out to Exquisite PR firm, and
Yeah.
we
Shout out
definitely
to
about to get these
Exquisite.
millions, and that's what it is. And no, shout out to Miss Nicole and Jordan. She definitely
You
make it possible for us to link up and do some great things. So,
right and do our
but
thing,
until
right?
next time, that's right. This is the Big Mouth Media Podcast. It's powered and sponsored by Exquisite PR Firm. I got my girl all the way from California, yay, Miss Ashley Marie, with that California loving, like Pac said, California knows how to party in the city, the city, So, but until then, have a great night, and we'll see you next time, man. We'll see you next Thursday on Big Mouth Media Podcast, and you never know who you might see on here. But peace, blessings, and everybody take care of themselves.
All right. Have a good night. Stay safe,
Peace.
everybody.